是做计算机科学的，然后是做人工智能，是上海纽约大学的教授，暂时学术休假，在做 Amazon AWS 的这个AI 研究院的院长。The first one is the big plots. The big plots is you sort of given a second life. With the exception, you cannot back out, and somehow your death in the virtual land also means you're going to die in the real world. That's very hard boundary conditions for people, right? For sci-fi.
今後ゲームにおいてあらゆる蘇生手段は機能しないヒットポイントが
There are other things. There are many other devices. A sci-fi plot would employ, but this is to me very interesting. The interesting part is it's plausible because we know that from cognitive science, brain can choose everything. Love is from our heart, but everything is really from your brain. So in theory, if you can shut down the brain or manipulate that in some way, it's plausible you cannot get out. And if your brain stops functioning, you can die. There's somebody who can do that is plausible. I never thought of that. I thought that part is interesting. If you think about that, in this world, if this is the only world, that's the same thing. If you die, you die. Right? And you are involuntarily thrown into the world. But
because it's a video game, everything is simplified.
Exactly. So it's a slice.
そのパンに使ってみろよ。
And also, it's also very, I have to say, I think it's very similar to society in this metaphor. You go against the levels, right? You raise above the levels until you reach the highest level, you are not free. And in each level, there are obstacles. There is a virtual boss you have to fight against. It's a very much simplified version of reality, right? You do get senior, you get promoted, you do more things. You go through phases of growth. Until you get to the final levels, you're not free. Real life is much more rich. And it's a simplified, essential core kind of simplification, and also a simplification of social ladders. In real life, we have to work, we have to feed the family. There, it's just you work in order to get your freedom. Long story short, it had this interesting plot to throw you into this new world. It's very neat, I think. But then it's afterwards a simplified version for kids of a grown-up world. He look at the world from a very cold and distant angle. Say, those are a group of agents, living agents with flesh and blood. I want to experiment and see how, if I give them a chance, I wanted to see how they survive. It's like I gather lots of ants and I build a castle, a sand castle, with some tricks. Throw in those ants and say, hey, I want to understand how they behave. That has been done using human as subjects many, many ways, right? They freeze people to see how long they can last. They infest the people, infected with viruses, and we see chemical weapon, how they're gonna do. People done that, like experiments. That's inhuman. But this guy, in that sense, actually does it in the same way, right?
自力で麻痺から回復する手段はなかったはずだがな。こんなことも起きるものかな。
I don't know anybody personally would do this. My friend, of course I will not do this.
Have any hard feelings against you or anything you do? It might just be for the best.
Of all things, I think this part touches me the most. Okay, so if you stop people on the street and ask them what you think AI should do for you, I think there's gonna be a spectrum. There are people say, hey, I want a robot dog. I want somebody to trade stocks for me. If you think about that, on the most humane spectrum, I would think this AI is the one that on the most human side, right? It takes care of you because it's designed for taking care of your mental health.
メンタルヘルスカウンセリングプログラム試作1号コードネームユイ。それが私です。
He overlook your psychological state affair and takes care of you if you're down, right? Not only that, it sacrifices itself for your own good, right? Not many people will sacrifice himself to save other people's life. So the AI is doing more than most humans doing. I think, and I also think the way they made it is very clever and very warm. Like, you know, it's like a fairy, but also a child for you to adore and take care of. And in return, it takes care of you, even to sacrifice its own life.
Comparing to all the other AIs and movies you've ever seen, this is like the most unique one.
Yeah, in terms of I would say in terms of naiveness too, because I don't think I can get there.
でもある日、他のプレイヤーとは大きく異なるメンタルパラメータを持った2人のプレイヤーに気づきました。喜び、安らぎ、でもそれだけじゃない。
But it's just like the Nervegear or
Nervegear.
Nervegear, the same thing. It's in principle they can beat that, but I don't know whether they could beat that.
I believe in being free, cause it's so much fun, you know, being me. Time and again, people try to be my man, think I'm a prince.
So I thought it's a good one, but it's not shockingly good to me. First of all, that people volunteer into this and just get locked up. Here they go into that for, you know, especially for this group of kids with terminal ill. They go there to explore a different world as a treatment, but also like a redemption. Asuna kind of be careful, had that go experience her life through a camera vicariously. I think is a way I think you would do, and I would do. For people that you think you can, if you have a way to transport some goodwills to other people, you will do that, and I will do that. It's not something that ordinary people will not do.
本当にありがとう、アスナ。この家をもう一度見られただけで、僕はすごく満足してるんだ。
I'm not too moved by that part because I think, given the chance, people will do that.
Just want to make one thing clear.
Now, one thing that is probably not as possible is people believe that what is that called? Non-intrusive brain interference is very hard. That's a fact. The girl was just wearing this thing and just transported, and he sees different vision and so on. That's proven to be very difficult because our cortex is a huge sheet of stuff and getting wrapped around. So to protect the signal, whatever. So for people to have no non-surgical, maybe they did. If they have non-surgical means to get high fidelity, low signal, high signal to noise ratio kind of signal going in and out, it's very difficult. As I say, I think Kirito is naive. He's simple. He's a likable kid. But both of them feels a bit thin. I mean, they're adorable. I would say they're adorable, but they're not too real to me. People are complex.
That makes me want to say, cause when you're my baby.
Yes, I'm not sure. I would encourage people like me, if you have never watched that, to watch that with your kid, because it's a great way to build the link in between. Anime, right? Anime is not a genre that I used to watch, but this is better than I expected. It's better than just passively passing time, I think.
Hear me roar, I am both strong and I